It's the very first floor that our Dallas Generals get to play on.
Wow, that's some history, man. You're just digging up some good stuff for everybody. But
hey, I didn't get this gray hair by not living a long time, so.
Indeed, indeed. Now, for the second half, what do you expect for the Generals to come out and do here in the second half?
Well, I think the Generals need to do what they were doing before, except they need to finish up those second shots.
Okay. Now, let's talk a little bit about the first half stats. And with the stats, we will see what we've got going on right now. The points, the shooting percentage, with 45% to 40%. Turnovers are a key factor. Generals turned it over 4 times, the Fresh 3 times. Shooting, though, 3-pointers, that's where the difference is right now. 6 of 18 for the Fresh, 4 of 11 for 3 points for the Generals. And from the free throw line, wow, the Fresh are lighting it up, 9 for 11 compared to 12 with 17.
Well, one of the most, the stats that sits out for me is the team field goal percentage. The Fresh is usually a 60% free throw shooting team. And with the size of the Generals, they've held them down to a 43 or 45%. So I think that is the key to this game, is playing the good defense and keeping the Fresh shooting from the outside and putting the pressure on them.
All right, now, what do the Fresh have to do as far as try to get back into the game, and what the Generals have to do to keep them out?
Well, the Fresh need to actually pick up the run, keep the run going, keep the fast break going, see if you can outrun the big guys of the Generals. Because when the Generals slow it down and start utilizing their big men, the Generals definitely have the advantage. But the Fresh has the advantage of being a much younger team. They average about 23 years of age, while the Generals average about 39 years of age. I mean, 29 years of age. If there's 49, you and I would be out there.
There you go. Let's take a look at some of those first half highlights for you. And in the highlights, you're going to see a lot of three-point shooting, a lot of slam dunks. Here is a slam dunk to open up the ball game, and a nice slam dunk that was from Satchell. As we come back live, and then boom, another one from there from the different angle. So good job there. They had penetration, little no-look pass there, and from same angle, nice moves.
Yeah, this is what we've been talking about. Let's utilize the size that we have, the advantage the Generals have in the size. Let them go in there and put those points up there. You'll notice that the Generals have more slam dunks than the Fresh do in this game, and that's very unusual for our Fresh team.
You see Hopkins hitting one of his three-pointers. He is 1 for 2 from three-point land. But, yeah, they've got some great opportunities, some good moves here. And there is another three-point there. Now, the Fresh came in talking about their popping threes, but, hey, you know, the Generals have answered, and here's a good give and go, and finding the handle on it, and then finally slamming it down was Johnny Phillips.
That's it. We just have to make sure that they get the ball to the big guys and let the big guys – they need to be looking for the ball, because we saw that a couple of different times where the pass was right to one of the big guys and he fumbled it. He wasn't looking for it. That's just part of, getting more and more games played with each other.
That's right. And they did get an opportunity to play some preseason games. So, when I talked to the guys the other day and went to lunch with them and here for the press conference, it was like, yeah, we played some preseason, so we have played together a little bit. But, it's not like playing the real thing. And tonight, it is the real thing.
It is the real thing. Now, a lot of these players were handpicked by the coach to join the Generals here. And they built this team out of known talent and of local talent. So they did a good job trying to put this team together. They like the size and the speed that they have, and you can definitely see that. They are bigger and just as fast as the Fresh. We'll have to see how the younger legs of the Fresh do in the second half, though.
Most definitely. As we get set for the second half of this ball game, 53-49, and it's been a good fast-paced game. Now, as we mentioned earlier, the Fresh used to scoring at least 124 per game. They blew somebody out, the Oklahoma team out like 150 to 120, like a 30-point game that time, I think it was, on their last outing.
Well, that's what they were talking about on the radio, that this Fresh team is averaging about 130, 140 points a game. And right now, our Generals have held them to only 49 points in the first half. So that's well below their season average.
As the Generals will get set for the second half of this ball game, and we are glad that you are with us here at Skip Star Sports as we get set for the second half action between the Generals and the Fresh, as the Fresh will have the opportunity to get set to inbound the basketball. And from there, hey, put your seatbelts on. It's going to get interesting.
It's going to get interesting, and I think there's going to be lots of rarefied air as those guys go for those jams.
And, you know, we talk about the overtime period. There's some more special rules to talk about as that, but we won't hit that button yet. Let's not hit that button yet as the Fresh open up on the inbound play. Ryder to Taylor, and Taylor for three. Way off the mark that time, but a push underneath the basket. And a rare three-point shot taken by Taylor.
Well, he's usually their big enforcer in the middle, and it's hard to get him outside.
Fresh inbound, Sheffield. Turnaround, jumper, won't go, and it does go. Got the back iron, got the front iron, and the back iron, and finally dropped in.
Well, you can see where the Fresh are going to come out here and try to pressure in the back court. They want to set up some more of those 3D opportunities.
Back into the ball game is Shawn Ward, and good feed, up and good from Larry Satchell.
That's a good ball movement once again, a good give and go for the Generals.
Taylor, pump move, and an outside shot taken, not good. Another good rebound. Here comes Lawrence. Lawrence on the break will go all the way with it, coast to coast, and the follow-up tip was good. And a good follow-up that time by Larry Satchell.
Yeah, his name does start with an L. That is a very good.
No, I'm hearing the announcer. Yeah, they've already got the nicknames and stuff. Well, I haven't got all the nicknames yet.
Well, it is the first game, though.
Okay. Taylor won't go, and the Fresh starting off cold. Meanwhile, an opportunity for the Generals to take advantage of the missed opportunities from the Fresh. And a foul. Let's see if it's called on the floor, and it is. So they will have the inbound play.
Yeah, he has a real surprised look like, who, me? But, man, he was fouling him all the way around. Of course, he was at a slight disadvantage, too.
Waiting for the inbound, and there it is to Shawn Ward, the shooting guard. And
ooh, you saw that. It would have been great, but he just moved that elbow a little too much. And anytime you throw an elbow, it's a foul on you.
He got a little bit of action in the first quarter. Didn't see much of Shawn in the second quarter of the ball game. Taylor giving it up and coming back around. Sheffield. Sheffield, the leading scorer right now for the Fresh with 15 points. Gets it taken away.
There he goes. He tried to get in there with the big trees, and the big trees took it out.
There's a three-point shot taken and won't go. And a whistle. Yeah, Shawn Ward has not found the pace that he wants right now, being the 6'6" shooting guard from Grapevine, Texas. And I'm sure he's got some fans here watching him. And we touched up on this in the first part of the ballgame, that a lot of these players here locally, and they've got some great fan support here tonight.
I think as more people come and see these games, they're going to really enjoy and see what an amazing type of game this is.
Ward gets it blocked, looking inside, and it's good. Satchell again on the bucket, the power forward from Waco, Texas. And a whistle. Looks like a quick foul called against Kenneth Lawrence that time.
Yeah, that was blocking on Kenneth. He just using too much of his body. And he's one of our little guys, so he doesn't have much body to use.
Indeed. Getting set. Fresh on the inbound. Sheffield inside, and this is where he is effective. Taylor on points in the paint. Count that for Taylor. And for Taylor, that is his 5th point of the night. Trying to go baseline, shot taken, it is blocked. Back come the Fresh on the rebound is Lewis Lee. Lee saw some action in the first half, but they end up losing that one.
That was a good turnover by Lawrence. He managed to touch the ball, and it went off the Fresh player, so now the Generals got the ball.
59-53 the score. Getting it across half court, and that is batted out of bounds. And Lawrence looking for Ward to come over.
Well, that's a little bit more of, trying to play together. They were expecting something different, and they didn't quite get the play they thought.
Lawrence trying to find the paint, goes up with it, off the glass, and good. And the Fresh want a timeout. So a great pace that time for the Generals. They came out in the second half, got the tempo going, and has stretched this thing to 9-point lead. What a 61-53 ball game here as we open up period number 3. So we get set. We'll come back with more of the action here between the Generals and the Fresh right here from the Coliseum.
The historic Coliseum.
Thank you for everybody joining us. So far, our score right now is 61-53. Danny, let's get some scores from around the NBA right now.
Around the NBA right now, the Raptors still with a 29